Les gars, c'est un truc de fou. Ici, on est au New York Stock Exchange, en plein milieu de Wall Street à New York. On peut voir littéralement le marché qui est ouvert derrière moi. Donc là, il y a des médias, il y a des traders. Je vais pouvoir faire un tour littéralement du lieu, voir un petit peu comment ça fonctionne de l'intérieur. On va pouvoir interviewer en exclusivité un trader qui bosse ici depuis 20 ans. Et on va également voir la cloche sonner pour l'ouverture d'un marché. Bref, c'est une vidéo clairement incroyable, assez exclusive. Donc n'hésitez pas à bombarder les likes parce que je ne le demande pas souvent, mais là, c'est vraiment exceptionnel. Et puis dites-moi ce que vous aurez pensé de ce format-là, assez particulier sur la chaîne.
Mais avant les images, mini flashback, le NYSE naît en 1792 à Wall Street et aujourd'hui c'est la plus grosse place boursière du monde avec plus de 2000 entreprises cotées pour environ 44 000 milliards de dollars de capitalisation. Voilà un petit peu le décor de tout ça.
Nous sommes rentrés. Ah, super.
Là on est carrément à l'intérieur du New York Stock Exchange. Donc là vous pouvez voir derrière moi tous les écrans. Franchement c'est incroyable.
Ah, c'est incroyable.
Le nouveau street.
Ce qui est fou c'est que tu vois, regarde, dessous c'est vraiment de l'ancien.
Ah ouais, c'est un vieux bâtiment et tout. Incroyable. Donc là en gros ce qu'on va voir c'est plein de boutons différents pour faire des petits bruitages, pour un peu animer la salle, etc. Mais alors à quoi ça sert concrètement une place boursière comme le NYSE? Une place boursière, c'est ce qu'on appelle aussi un exchange, c'est un petit peu comme un grand marché, on va pouvoir y acheter et vendre des morceaux d'entreprise, ce qu'on appelle les actions. En fait ça fonctionne en deux phases. Vous avez une première phase qui est le marché primaire, c'est lorsque les entreprises elles décident de s'introduire en bourse pour lever de l'argent. Tout simplement en vendant des parts de leur société au public, elles vont récupérer des fonds pour pouvoir se développer, donc par exemple lancer de nouveaux produits, investir dans des usines, etc. Et petit fun fact, le NYSE a levé plus de 109 milliards en 2024 sur l'ensemble de ses IPO et de ses augmentations de capital. C'est le nom qu'on donne notamment donc aux introductions en bourse pour le Initial Public Offering. Et évidemment, ça intéresse les investisseurs car ils espèrent avec la valeur de l'entreprise qu'elle va augmenter ou qu'alors elle va verser des dividendes. Puis vient une deuxième phase, c'est ce qu'on appelle le marché secondaire, c'est quand les investisseurs achètent et se vendent des actions d'entreprise entre eux. C'est littéralement la loi de l'offre et de la demande et n'importe qui peut en profiter. Il y a ceux qui achètent par exemple les actions lors des IPO et qui souhaitent les revendre plus tard pour potentiellement faire une plus-value. Il y a aussi ceux qui souhaitent soutenir leurs entreprises favoris et il y a même les entreprises qui génèrent elles-mêmes beaucoup de cash qui vont décider de se racheter ses propres actions. C'est le cas par exemple d'Apple depuis plusieurs années. C'est la cloche mon gars, mec, c'est incroyable. Bien pour vous montrer, derrière vous, il y a la CNBC qui va être littéralement en live. Là ici, toutes les personnes qui ont fait sonner la cloche ont laissé leur signature sur des tableaux. Donc là, il y a sûrement des célébrités, des gens hyper connus. Donc là, on en a beaucoup parce que la cloche a sonné énormément de fois.
You guys want to see the bell too, right? So you got the bell, you got the American flag, you got the floor. We've got 15 minutes before it rings.
Okay. How many people are working here inside the New York Stock Exchange?
Right now in the New York Stock Exchange, that number I'm not exactly sure of. I can tell you there were once over 5,000 people on this trading floor back when I started in the 1990s.
Okay.
And it was organized chaos at its finest. Now, technology has really made it, much more efficient. So you don't see as many people, you don't feel the crazy buzz like we once did, but
people doesn't scream anymore and buy me once.
We can scream a little bit, but not like I'll scream at you,
okay.
But not like we used to. It's much more efficient, much faster. And the people that do the trading are now up at trading desks. They're at home. You can trade from anywhere. So the market has really evolved over the years, but this is still a very important place and a very special place.
What kind of role do you have here? There is traders, medias, other people?
Well, I was a trader for 28 years. So I was one of those people down there responsible for the handling of specific stocks. So I was a market maker. And as a market maker, people would come to me to buy and sell, and we would have an auction. And as we got more technology, we didn't need to write trades down. We didn't need all that paper. So my job was to make sure stocks were trading efficiently, report back to the companies as their market maker, because each company that trades here has its own human responsible for the trading.
Okay.
So their own market maker. And then the customers, the institutions, the retail brokers, they have brokers that get orders to go in and buy and sell those stocks. Okay. So they meet at a centralized location, but now with technology, they don't have to go in and announce every trade. So it's changed a lot. But my job was a trader, so I knew minute by minute trades, second by second. And now I've pivoted where I'm a market analyst, where I talk about the market, talk about market conditions, talk about trading, and I use my trading knowledge to inform my company's investors, to inform CNBC viewers what we're watching. So so now I talk to people in the media, which is very different than talking to the traders that I dealt with for so many years.
Okay, so the media ask you some question during the day, what's going on with the stocks, etc.
Yeah, what do I think about the stock market? What do I think about the Fed policy? What did Trump say now? He tends to move markets. You may be familiar with our president. He can move markets, but my job is to stay on top of market moving events, individual stock news, earnings season, very important. So, you know, I've taken trading and watching minute by minute, second by second ticks and putting a bigger view on the overall market to help investors at home get be more informed to make decisions on their own.
Do you actually currently continue to trading stocks?
No, and I miss it. I don't trade for I have my own portfolio, and I put things away for the long term. I have a lot of different rules. So whenever I buy something, I need approval to buy it. I have to hold it for a certain period of time, so I can focus on my day-to-day operations. But I as an investor, I buy, companies I know that I believe for the long term are great investments. So I own Amazon and I own Google, a lot of the Magnificent Seven names. And I just put them away and I let the market do the work for me. So as a long-term investor, investing has been very good for me personally. And then as a career, getting to trade and now talk about the markets has been the most exciting thing. And to do it in this place, the New York Stock Exchange, well, this building's been here since 1903, but the exchange has been around since 1792. To spend over 30 years in this building is very special.
And with your experiences from this past long years, what's your advices for retail investors? Because you are a professional, so
yeah, it always depends on what your time frame is and what your pain threshold is. How much money are you willing to invest, and what is your time horizon? I always think learn by doing. Invest in a stock. As soon as you invest in that stock, you look at it very differently. You remember where you bought it. You now, perfect example, I had a 14-year-old son who bought a share of Tesla. And all of a sudden, he watched the stock price every day. He saw cars going by. He'd see Elon Musk tweeting, and he would share that with me. He'd get excited. So once you invest in a company, whether it's Nike because you wear their shoes, or it's, IBM because you use their computer, whatever the stock is, once you own it, you look at it very differently. And it gets you involved. So I always say, buy a stock and follow it, and then have a game plan. Why did I buy that stock? Was it for the long term? Because I think this company is going to do great things over the next few years? Or am I thinking that this earning cycle will be good, where, there's a new product and it'll be good for a few days, a few weeks, and I want to make a profit? So everyone has their own way of doing things. For the long-term investor, buy index funds, buy the market. The market here is the S&P 500. And buy a basket of those stocks, because over time it goes up. Yes, there are a lot of bumps along the way, but when you think about it, the index is constantly rebalancing. They put the best stocks in, they kick the worst stocks out. Perfect example. Uber was just put in a little over a year ago. You know what stock it replaced? Replaced Alaskan Airlines. Would you rather own Uber or Alaskan Airlines? I mean, it's just simple. I'd rather own a company that's going to grow instead of the 8th biggest airline in the United States, which services only Alaska and Hawaii. It's to me, so the index is the best way of buying things and doing best. You're getting a piece of 500 of the greatest companies here in the United States. So that's the best way to put things long term and not look at it. But it's not fun. What's fun is to speculate and trying to find that next big stock. And so if you have funds that are a little more discretionary and you want to take a chance on what you think may be the next big thing, then by all means do it, as long as you know that there's a lot of risk involved. Because I think it's very important to have a strong, balanced portfolio. But if you have that little extra, try to shoot for the stars and try to find that next NVIDIA.
And what's your opinion on the leverage?
Leverage can be dangerous. So if you're buying stock, buying stocks on margin, buying these triple levered ETFs, you have to really pay attention to the trade. This isn't something you buy and then you just walk away from. You have to really be focused, because the most important thing is minimizing a loss. 4 things can happen when you get into a trade, and 2 of them are normal. You have a small gain and a small loss. The goal is a big gain, but if you lose your entire investment, you lose a large portion of that, to regain that capital to then get back to the level where you started is very difficult. So sometimes taking small losses and minimizing risk is the most important thing. So if you're going to buy levered assets and high risky investments, you really have to stay on top of it, and you have to know when to take a loss. A lot of people, they make these short-term investments, long-term investments, and you're missing opportunities elsewhere because you don't have the funds to go into a different hot stock or hot sector at the time. As far as my personal investment, I own a lot of the S&P 500, the indexes, and I have different assets for different time periods in my life. My children, I had a 529 plan where it was allocated to growth stocks, and that stock grew and it was tax advantageous for me. For my retirement account, it's split between stocks and bonds. For my personal account, that changes, monthly. Right now, I do own a lot of those magnificent names. Broadcom, which isn't in the Mag 7, but should be. NVIDIA. I've owned Amazon for a long time. Alphabet for a while. I've owned Pfizer. I don't own all winners, by the way, but it's a good dividend play. AT&T for the dividend. So I try to spread it out in my own individual account, and then every once in a while, I'll pick a stock that may be a meme stock. I did trade GameStop and AMC back in the day when I could, but now I just kind of set it, forget it, and I worry about the day-to-day so I can talk about the market and not worry about my own portfolio.
Awesome. So if we want to follow, people want to follow you, where can they?
Yeah, my name is Jay Woods. I'm the Chief Global Strategist at Freedom Capital Markets, a CNBC contributor, and a longtime member of the New York Stock Exchange here for 33 years. Jay Woods 3 is my Twitter, or we call it X now, my Twitter and my Instagram. I will publish things that I put on CNBC and some of the other small networks that I do media for, with different stock ideas and talk about the markets. But as for my own portfolio, I own some basic boring stocks. I'm a boring guy, but I do see opportunities from time to time, and I like to get involved.
I just wanted to ask you, Jay, how do you handle the stress and stay focused on the long term when there's so much happening here in the New York Stock Exchange?
That is a great question. I'm bald, all right? I used to have hair just like you. It can be a very stressful place. You have to have a routine. You have to be disciplined. So when you buy a stock, have a game plan. And when it goes against you, you have to get out. You have to pivot. So you always have to be pivoting. The hardest things to do are great problems. All right, I'm up a lot in this stock. Is it going to go higher? Do I sell? I've sold stock, I've given it away a lot of times, and I get very angry. These are great problems to have. But stress, everyone has their own way of handling stress. You have to find what works for you, whether it's going to the gym, going for a walk, going to the bar. Yes, we can have a drink or two after a rough day, but you have to have discipline when it comes to your trading style and know why you bought a stock and what the game plan is, because you have to always think worst case scenario. And it's not a great way to live, but that's what I do. And for my long-term accounts, I have faith in the markets. I have faith in what's going to happen. And right now we have a minute to go to this opening bell. So I want you to film this opening bell, and it was a pleasure to talk to you.
Allez, on passe l'or, ça achète, ça baille.
Allez, c'est parti, les marchés sont ouverts, let's go.
Allez, Romain, montre-nous ton achat d'action en direct.
On va acheter aussi, moi j'achète.
On va acheter en direct là. Bon, là on va acheter du coup une action en direct sur le portefeuille Interactive Broker, une action cotée au New York Stock Exchange, et je vais acheter ici pour une quantité de 800 $. Tac, aperçu de mon ordre. Ok, je passe mon ordre. Et l'ordre vient d'être envoyé.
Et c'est live.
Et là c'est live.
On a vécu en direct la cloche, l'ouverture des marchés américains.
On a vu que notre cher interviewé détient du Amazon.
Il détient du Amazon, il détient du Google, S&P 500. Mais il est très focus ETF, Index Funds. Index Funds. Voilà, j'espère que cette vidéo vous aura plu. C'est vraiment une vidéo carrément exclusive. Donc souvent on dit c'est une vidéo un peu spéciale. Là c'est littéralement très spécial puisque je termine cette vidéo littéralement en dessous de la fameuse belle historique du New York Stock Exchange. Donc j'espère que voilà, vous aurez pu apprendre des petits trucs, c'était intéressant. Et puis bah on se voit dans une prochaine vidéo. À bientôt. C'est quoi tout ça?
Stylé. Ouais, c'est des petites œuvres d'art.
Ah ouais.
Les tableaux des éléments périodiques, mais on va.
Putain, allez quoi. Ouais, on reviendra.